Hi and welcome to Mail Designer. Today we want to show you how to configure the domain setup for your email domain in Mail Designer with Hostinger. So we have already added our email address here. This domain is hosted on Hostinger. You can find this page under here, settings and from addresses. Also, if you have it in Mail Designer in the sidebar, you can find it by selecting participants, then participants and settings, and then selecting the from addresses here. First of all, we see on this email, we see this email verification. This is just an email that gets sent to your inbox that you can click on to verify. And then we also have the domain verification, which I will walk you through now. So we see the domains that we have added to our account here. This potential provider is just a guess from our end, what your provider is. In my case, it says Cloudflare, although I'm hosting on Hostinger, so it's not 100% accurate. Okay, let's jump into the verification. So we go to the Hostinger page, we select here domains, then select our domain, and then go to the DNS name servers page. And then we can view the settings by clicking on this DKIM right here, and then we will go through one by one. So let's start with DKIM. So the type is text. The name is what you see here on the left. And the text value is this. And then we just press add record. Okay, next for the SPF. This is a little bit tricky because it needs to be, it needs to include both the Hostinger record that we already have in here, as well as the new one, spf.welovemails.com. So the easiest way to do it is just to look up the existing record by using the search function and then click on edit. And what we can see is this has the Hostinger info and this has both. So in this case, we just copy what's in here and paste it into here. In this here, you always want to check what you have existing in your entry, because sometimes we're not able to detect what you already have in there. So what you want to do is add just this part if we can't detect it here. So this is like the most tricky one. The name is @ for the entire domain. If you use a subdomain, you can also just use the record name here. Okay, click update. Perfect. Let's go on to DMARC. This is just text again. Same as before. Add record. Okay, last one. For mail from, pay attention, there's 2 records here that we'll need to enter. One is MX and one is text, so we'll do the MX one first. Priority is 10, that's already correct. Add record, and then let's do the second one. This is text again. Add record. Perfect. Okay, that should be it. Now we can close this window. Keep in mind for these changes to refresh, it can take some time. I'd recommend grabbing a coffee at this point. It It can take maybe an hour, sometimes it takes longer. You can check the results by pressing this refresh button. So you can see, okay, these 3 already went through. DKIM is still pending. But it's sometimes you will see it sometimes like flicker, where when you do a refresh it goes back to blue, so it does take a little bit of time. So while we wait on this change to go through, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this email verification. So I just go to my inbox and I see the email from noreply@welovemails.com, and then I just confirm the email. Perfect. Now if I do a refresh again, I think I have to do a full page refresh in this case. We can see, okay, this one is verified, so now we're just waiting for the DKIM. So one thing to be aware of, once everything is green, that doesn't mean it's green everywhere in the internet. So that means we have performed an initial check that was successful. But usually for these settings to fully propagate throughout the entire internet, so, you know, I mean, it's a big globe, we recommend actually waiting up to 48 hours if possible before sending out your first email. It is technically possible for you to send emails before then. However, just be aware that if this this DKIM and DMARC verification is not correct, then you have a higher potential of landing in spam. So just pay attention to that, be aware of it. It usually does solve itself within about 48 hours. Okay, DKIM is still pending, so let's just go in and double check that I saved this correctly. Yeah, it looks correct. So just be aware also that, as I just said, if every time you make a change to these records, it does take, you know, you basically start the process over again. So I would recommend just waiting until it all goes green. If it does not go green within about 2 hours, I would go back and re-enter the values and try it again. Awesome. Now the domain verification is complete. Everything is green. Do a final check by just refreshing the page and you will see this looks great. As I said before, please remember to wait a decent amount of time before sending on this, just to ensure you don't land to spam immediately. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching and happy sending with Mail Designer.